What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Nutrasave Podcast. I'm Joey Lavelle. I am here with my good friend and the owner, founder, CEO, main and only operator, and my good friend, Briggs. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Extremely excited to be able to bring this podcast to y'all. We're looking to bring it Wednesdays every week. Of course, this week's going to be a little bit different. We'll have this episode coming out Sunday night, Monday morning, and then you'll get the normal episode one coming Wednesday, of course. We're looking to talk a little more on the sports news side, commentary, and then also any athletes out there, college, professional, high school, that want to come on and talk about their journey and kind of how they've gotten to where they are in their athletic career, and kind of give advice to those who are still coming up through the ranks, especially kind of seniors in college who have gone through and like know how to be successful and be a student athlete, and kind of as they're going into the next stage of their life, give advice to that younger generation. And so with that, we have if you go to our Instagram, our email is open. We've got our DMs are open. So just shoot us something if you'd like to come on. We'd be more than happy to have anyone on. Club, NCAA, doesn't matter. We'd be more than happy to have you on.
Couldn't have said it better. Well done. Well done. Very proud. I think you about covered that. So you want to get into it?
Yeah. So for today's kind of more pilot episode, we're just going to be kind of having kind of get to know you with y'all, having y'all be able to kind of get familiar with us. So with that, Joey, what in your opinion is the greatest sports moment of all time?
I sat in many dark rooms trying to think about this. Not really. Kick six is always a good one. That's something you don't even see every day. Kick six, I mean, can you name a more electric moment than that? I think it was in Jordan Hare too.
It was. I think I
I
can name
mean,
a more electric
the
moment.
miracle on ice. I mean, it's not really a moment, but I mean, Tom Brady's comeback against the Falcons,
That
like,
that that was a good one. Yeah,
I'm trying to think. When the Kings won the I think it was 2012 finals against the Rangers.
the
The
what was
golden
his name?
goal.
Alec Rodriguez. Yep.
Yeah, the golden goal. All I remember from that 2012 finals is just Henrik Lundqvist just fully stretched out. I feel this pain. 'Cause we were former hockey players. I was a former goalie. I felt this pain of just your head first in the ice, realizing you just messed up. You just lost your season. It wasn't your fault, but it was your fault. Like, that's the way I look at it. But anyways, how about you? Greatest sports
In,
moment.
in my
I don't think you can
in my
top that.
opinion, it's got to be the Miracle on Ice. I mean, coming in, you had a bunch of college kids going up against the juggernaut in the Soviets, winning 5 out of the 6 gold medals leading up to it, crushing the U.S. national team in Madison Square Garden before the Olympic Games, and then in the height of the Cold War, when it actually mattered, the bunch of kids from college came together and pulled off the upset. So I think that especially watching that final countdown, you can feel the emotion from the crowd, you can feel the emotion from the players, and like just what it meant to be an American at that point in time, especially an American hockey player playing for Herb Brooks and that whole national squad. Absolutely priceless.
All I can think about is again when you just made them skate laps back and forth, the lights are off. I wish I had a coach
After
that pushed me that hard. Maybe I'd be like not retired right now.
I mean,
Like,
losing to that, I think it was what the Norwegian B team, and I mean that was
I
just like
don't.
I think it's like those hard moments in sports where you end up like you figure out what your identity is, and if you don't have an identity as a squad, you aren't able to fall back on anything when times get tough. It's like
Yeah,
when crap hits the fan, you gotta have something to be able to fall back on and kind of just take it back to the basics, be able to kind of return to your roots and uh, just kind of play as a group. But if you don't have that like foundation, you aren't together, then when things get bad, it's just your team's going to fall apart. That team chemistry is going to disappear. And then
Again, well said.
another electric moment I got was Jesse Owens winning 4 gold medals in front of Hitler in the 1936 Berlin Olympics, right before World War II.
God, I remember that back in my day. I mean, yeah,
Back when you were with the
I can't comment
dinosaurs.
on that. That's electric, but I think he was an Ohio State alum. Or am I tripping?
I'm not able
I
to
think he's an
comment on
Ohio
that.
State alum.
I'm not sure. We'll have to go back and look at that later. But I think Hitler just trying to prove how good the German runners were, how superior they were to everyone, and then having yet again another American come in, and it's that sense of being an American that came, and he was able to kind of just show off and show what it meant to be an American in front of all the, I guess at that time, the Nazis. Okay, you ready
Yeah,
for this last? You ready for this last one?
I
I
have
don't know.
Mr. Research.
Having a big I was a big I won't say I was a big golf been one of my favorite sports growing up, played in high school, and then in 2019 at tail end of my freshman year season, I watched Tiger win the 2019 Masters after having the back surgery and kind of making his return to glory. That absolutely electric. The near hole in one on hole 16 to kind of be on the verge of sealing the deal. That I think that's one of my all-time favorite moments in sports. Being a big Tiger guy, I'm hoping he comes to and pulls out another win, be able to top that Sam Snead 82 win record, which he's tied with right now. But we'll see. I'm not sure how he's doing with the sickness and the back stuff going on that he's got right now.
Well, didn't he leave Nike too? I think he left
Yeah,
Nike after like
he
20
left
something years.
he left
Like,
Nike.
all
He
you think
started
about
his
when you see Nike, like, polos is Tiger. Like, that's
yeah.
all I think about.
So
But
he
yeah, I
left
didn't even
Nike.
think about that. But Tiger winning that's something different. Tiger was
He's
just dominant, dude. Just dominant.
yeah. So he left Nike and he was like, I think he was asked about having to leave his famous TW logo, and he's like I've kind of moved on from that, and he's got his I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's called Sunday Red, is his new clothing line. I think he released it with TaylorMade, the
I
golf
didn't know
company.
that. I heard about that.
So I think it's interesting, and then the logo, if you flip it on its side, looks like his I guess his back, like the vertebrae in his back. So it's a very interesting and unique design logo.
I don't know if I'm bold enough to make my clothing brand my back problems, but all the power to them.
I mean, when you're a multi-billion-dollar athlete, I mean, I think
Might
that
as
you're
well.
able to
People will
kind of
buy it.
yeah. We'll see how those numbers come out when they do.
It's gonna be like, did you see that Kanye West Super Bowl commercial where he's like, I spent 7 million. I don't remember how much it was, but he's like, I spent $7 million on the ad. I spent no money on the production. So here's my ad. And he ended up selling like 30 million in like the next 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, just
Just
coming from a
one Super
business.
Bowl ad with zero money, $0 in production. Like, that's
Yeah,
insane.
just coming from the business side of it, being able to have like, of course, spending money on that Super Bowl ad is going to be expensive, but just to be able to film it on his phone and be like, yeah, this is it. Go to the website, buy the shoes. That crazy idea. Somehow it worked. Of course, Kanye is one of the
Because
most,
it's
I'd say one of the
Kanye.
most famous people out there. Yeah,
Well, I was waiting for it after the commercial to be like shot on iPhone. Like, you know how the iPhone commercials had that afterwards? That's what I thought was gonna happen. I was just sitting there waiting patiently for. I was like, I didn't even see the ad initially in the Super Bowl. I saw it after the fact, after I saw the numbers, like $30 million 24 hours after. I was like, good for you, Kanye. He seems slightly less crazy now, too, so we'll see how that
yeah.
goes. He dropped
So
a new
given that
album,
we've
though.
Yeah, I saw that. So given that we both played sports, given neither one of us has gone pro, neither one of us ever will. But given,
That
um,
never were good enough to get looked at by college
yeah,
scouts, but
that wasn't ever going to happen either. Beer
no.
league, maybe. Beer league,
We
that's got
got
a shot.
scouted by some beer league teams. You know,
But
I had guys calling me from like South Carolina, from Georgia, Florida, the equator, like just the hottest places you can be because they were all trash. And so was I. So I mean, you know,
I mean, hey, Bobby Short tried to get me to play his beer league team.
I had a good year of travel. That was about it. That was all you got out of me. That was my peak middle school performance. After high school, I gave up because I knew I was trash.
So we've seen a lot of these kind of as we go into like a new age of like this next age of professional athletes. We've seen the likes of like Tony Romo go and sign a broadcasting deal. Drew Brees had a deal with NBC. He has since, I guess he just did 1 year and left. And then like Terry Bradshaw and Troy Aikman played in the past, but now are obviously doing like analyst jobs and broadcast jobs. And then you've got on the other side guys who'll go and coach. Deion Sanders, famous, played in the NFL and in the MLB. Now coaches at Colorado, coached at Jackson State previously. Wayne Gretzky, the great one, coached in Phoenix for 4 years after his illustrious career. And then Phil Jackson, Jason Kidd, they've all coached after fabulous careers. So now my question to you, after, let's say, you had a Hall of Fame career, would you rather go into a broadcasting career or a coaching career?
See, me now, I want to go into a broadcasting career. Like, if NBC or like ESPN were to call me up and be like, "Hey, you want to be a hockey broadcaster?" Yeah, sign me up. Like, where do I start? I'll be the water boy for the announcers. Like, I don't care as long as I have upward mobility. But I don't know. I don't know how I'd be if I was like good. You know, like I don't know how it'd be if I was good. But as of right now, I'd go broadcaster. I'd always want to be a play-by-play, even though I don't know if I could keep myself serious. But it sounds good. What about yeah?
So I'm going to go on the flip side. I'm going to go coaching. I've loved coaching. I've gotten a few stints as like an assistant coach with quotation marks there. Over the years, it's something I've always loved to kind of help the younger kids out. Um, Given if we were older, I'd be helping grown men. But I, especially when it came to hockey, loved the game, just kind of lived and breathed it for a while. And so just being able to go and kind of pass my career on through some, like live vicariously through them in a sense, like be able to teach them the way that I was taught and kind of have that experience to go and kind of teach them a style that they may not have been used to. Kind of the same way back to the miracle that Herb Brooks did, where it was like they kind of brought in a whole new style and used it to pull off some pretty big wins.
Yeah. How many miracle references are you gonna have today?
A
At least
lot.
three
It's
of
one of
them,
my
right?
favorite movies. At least,
Did you watch it last
I
night?
mean, I did.
I knew you
Great
were.
movie.
We talked about
Great
that last
movie.
night.
I
It
mean,
was like 40 years ago since the miracle. He's like, yes, I'm gonna watch it tonight.
so just for reference to the listeners at home, yesterday was the, I believe, 44th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice.
I thought it was
It's one of my
40th.
favorite. No, it was 1980 and it's 2024 now. So quick math would say that is 44. So
My bad.
that's that college
I'm just
brain.
an idiot. Yeah, it's called You Went to College. Yeah, that's what
So
happens.
I mean, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. I get goosebumps every time they play that actual footage of the countdown, and you see the crowd just going nuts. I mean, to be able to play in front of that would be a dream.
It would be a dream to play in front of 100 people.
Yeah, that too. I mean, someone other than
But
our
wait,
parents and
I think the most we
grandparents.
ever played. I think the most I ever played in front of was like 300 people.
I'd say it was something similar for me. We had It was the
It
championship
was
series.
CPHP, right? It was like CPHP. That was like the most people I ever played in front of. It was like the quarterfinals of the one of the tournaments we were in.
So I think mine was actually a house game. It was the championship series my junior year. They had a big USPHL showcase that weekend, and they had a game immediately after us. And we had already started late, so you had all the fans coming in for that game that were watching us, all of our fans. And then because it was a Saturday midday, they had a public skate on the other ice. So when the Zam was cutting on that ice, everyone had come over to watch us. So I think there was maybe a good 500 people in there. And so
Yeah,
I came out, scored a game winner in overtime, wrapped around the back of the net, backhand, hit the goalie's helmet, rolled over his back shoulder. Fantastic goal. Loved it.
I
Probably
don't
one of my
know.
favorites.
I don't know about you, but I won a championship my senior year. Just saying.
Yeah, I did not.
Yeah, and
Lost
you
with
know why?
1.4
You
seconds
know
left.
why you won that year? Because I didn't play.
Debatable.
No, definitely the truth.
Debatable.
Because I was on your team most years that we played together. So
Yeah.
I was the reason you didn't win most of them. Not really. I had that dog in me when we were playing like D-level house league, but
So,
just spilling all our
to,
secrets right now, losing all
oh
our
yeah.
credibility.
So talking about our hypothetical professional careers, if you could be sponsored by any three companies, what would you want to, or who would you want to be sponsored by? Is the question there.
You're gonna love this answer. One, it's gonna be Nutrasave.
Great answer, but no.
Okay. Now, obviously, like one of if we're talking about hockey here, right? Or just any sport.
Any sport in general.
We'll just use the hypothetical hockey. We'll go like with Bauer, CCM, whatever. Because one, that's free gear, free stick, and if I'm good enough, I get to have my like own name. Like you know how they have like the McDavid curve on the stick, and, like whatever.
Hmm.
And so one of those companies, um, obviously like a wellness company, like whatever, like or a food plan company, anything. I would want to be sponsored by like companies that'll keep me fit because one, that's free stuff, and I'm getting like free money for just posting them on my Instagram. So, and I get the stuff for free. So, and it helps me out because it's keeping me in check to like, you know, like treat my body as best I can, and I don't have to spend money on crappy food. So, it's even better.
So quickly interject some here. For those who have an interest in being sponsored by Nutrasave, reach out to Nutrasave Fitness on Instagram. We will work something out. We'll look at all your data and analytics and all that, and we can crack a deal there. But you
Look
you
at
mentioned
that.
some, yeah, yeah.
You're
Got to
welcome.
put the
You're
shameless
welcome. You're
plug
even
in
repping the
there.
brand tonight.
Oh yeah, the sweatshirt.
You
You can
haven't
get
sent
the
me anything, so it's not my
Jill
fault.
sweatshirt. So those are for sale at on the Nutrasave website. You can find that both in the Instagram bio and over on our own the Nutrasave Fitness Instagram account. So if you like what you see, go check it out. But you
We'll
mentioned,
put the link in the description.
yeah, the link will be
Yeah,
in the
we got
description.
that.
You mentioned about eating good food and kind of like staying right. My first one, and if this company would like to reach out and work out a sponsorship deal as this podcast grows, all for it. Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. Like for those who are close to me and spend a
Oh
good amount of
God.
time with me, know that I spend an exorbitant amount of money on Taco Bell. Like it is borderline bad.
It's
Like
an addiction, dude.
I wouldn't call it an
Oh,
addiction.
it
It's not an
is.
addiction yet,
That's what every
but
addict says, dude. You know what an
but I,
alcoholic says? He says, I'm not an alcoholic. Until
but I
you go to
was
counseling and you lose the wife and the kids. Like,
I don't think I'm losing the wife and the kids. I don't have
well,
a wife or kids, but I don't think I'm losing the wife and the kids over Taco Bell. I think that, I mean, one of the big
Until you
things
lose the
as
house because you went into debt spending money on Taco Bell. You're like the guy that ate like. There's a video of I think it was from like TLC where this guy ate like 6 burgers from like White Castle a day. He would like throw his wife's food in the trash, and while he was doing that, he would go get White Castle.
that is great.
Like that's
But
that. Sorry, I went
I will
way
say,
too far off the tangent.
this is not in any way a paid promotion. Nothing. Taco Bell has not reached out to me yet. Hopefully they will. Taco Bell, if you're listening to this, please do. Save me some money here. But they're one of the few companies I've seen that over the course, as like McDonald's you've seen has gotten more expensive. Like Taco Bell, you're able to kind of you're able to make your money go further. Like you're still able to get filled more than full on less than $10 easily, probably less than 8, 7. And then nothing's beating a Baja Blast. Nothing in the world will top a Baja Blast. I'm sorry for those of you who like McDonald's Sprite or like a McFlurry or like I'm not a big McDonald's fan. I'm sorry, but
Yeah, I know you
nothing
keep
can
trashing
ever
McDonald's name,
compete
bro.
with a Baja
What about
Blast.
Cookout? What about Cookout milkshakes?
I love Cookout.
Yeah.
Cookout. That's like a once in a while. That's a big calorie bomb.
Oh my God, my bad, Mr.
Especially
Perfect.
especially as someone who's trying to cut right now, coming out of the bulking cycle. Cookout's not my friend. Neither is Taco Bell really. Taco Bell's like my cheat meal, but
Your
yeah,
cheat everyday meal
I don't eat it every day. I eat
every other
maybe
day.
once every 2 weeks. Generous, sometimes more, sometimes less. But
I don't
I
know if
will
I
s-
believe
I
that.
will say I have surpassed the 10,000 point mark on Taco Bell. So Taco Bell, if you're hearing this, please save me some money. Um, yeah. Okay. So I mean that was my
Or
first sponsor
Taco
too.
Bell just completely cuts you off. What if
That would be terrifying. I'd be fiending for Taco Bell.
you be the ex that the toxic ex that just keeps coming back, just banging on the door, 2 a.m. No caller ID.
I mean, it would not be good. But the like I don't know if you know this. As I played hockey throughout high school and middle school, Under Armour, some of the best when it comes to clothing, I think is all around the best for athletes. I think it feels the best, it moves the best with you. It's the most comfortable, especially when it comes to like the recovery aspect of not only working out, which is like what I've gotten into since I've been in college, but kind of hockey being a violent sport um, has allowed me to be able to like go and like sit around in some Under Armour sweatpants and a sweatshirt and be like, oh yeah, this like feels good. So I don't know how much Under Armour you wear, but like the socks, especially like the padded ones and the skates, perfect.
I don't wear Under Armour because
And
it's
then
like $50 for a pair of sweatpants. And
yeah, my
I
mom's coming in
I
clutch
don't
there.
get to live on campus for I actually have to pay for my apartment, so I have to government pay for it. So sorry. Well,
And
actually,
then
the government
my
does. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have came at you like that. I work a government job. I shouldn't have came at you like that. I'm sorry.
So my third one, and I had a couple things written down here, and kind of depending on what sport we wanted to go with, and I had a couple different ideas. EA Sports, especially with the release of the college football game, would not mind being an EA Sports athlete, getting my face on the cover of one of their games. Um, Especially being able to play as myself in like NHL or something like that, or Madden, would be awesome. Let's see, and then body armor. I drink a lot of body armor. If they want to hook me up with something too, more than happy.
I didn't know
Body
we were
armor, if you
begging
hear
for
this,
promotions.
I'm not. I'm just trying to save
I
money.
would
I'm a
have asked
college
for some
kid.
sponsor. I would have asked for some sponsorships too. I didn't know we were begging for them. I thought this was all hypothetical. You-
Oh, it is hypothetical. There's no way that Taco Bell reaches out to me, but it is fun to dream. I
It's
mean, it's
all
just.
dependent on the people. You're
I mean,
responsible. Briggs needs his Taco Bell. All you people are responsible. Meanwhile,
yeah. Please,
I'm about to
please,
say that.
please, comment on whatever you're watching this on, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We need to get our Taco Bell. So we need
Just
food.
you. I'll pass on the Taco Bell. Sorry. Taco Bell's not.
So okay, so
Anyways,
if it wasn't hockey, would that change your sponsorship list at all?
not really. I'd still want like equipment sponsorships. Might as well. Like, I would want like a Nike or Under Armour one instead of like a Bauer for the shoes. Get my own cleat. Get to design my own cleat. Like,
That would be
why
fun.
not?
So I think, and
Like, it's
especially
it's how it is in the Madden like career. Like you play as your own player, you go through the story. That's how it is there. Like, could you imagine that?
that'd be fun. Um, but I mean, I think this was one thing I've seen kind of emerge over the past couple of years. Like, what are your thoughts on the Justin Herbert and SoFi partnership there?
I have not heard about that.
I
What do
don't
they
know if it's
do?
fair. I don't know if it's fairly new. He's promoting the brand. So I mean, if that's something
I
where it's like,
mean, don't the Rams share that stadium?
yeah,
Or yeah, the Rams
SoFi's,
share it with the Chargers.
yeah,
What
the
is
Rams and
SoFi?
Chargers, but
What-
it's
That's
like a
a that's
financial,
a
it's a financial
okay.
institution. So
I
I
mean,
think
that's
honestly, if you're SoFi, I think you go and get some NIL deals with college kids, especially seeing that they're likely some of the most irresponsible with money at this point in our lifetime, and kind of go and see with college athletes, be like, hey, we can help you get money management classes, and then kind of be able to help get you set up for long-term goals, and be able to be successful as opposed to blowing money on um, things such as like unnecessary purchases, which
get out the
there are a
Sanders
lot of.
watches.
I mean, when you're bringing in that much money from NIL, I don't think they're concerned about long term wealth at
Yeah.
all.
we'll
I mean,
we'll
they're
get to the
also
Sanders.
it's for the brand when you're the Sanders, and I'm
Well,
not coming
Deion
after them any
Sanders
sort
is
of
his
way.
own brand.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible what he's been able to do, promoting
Did how
himself. And
much? Do you know how much Colorado's um Instagram like shot up? I think it was like 10 million followers or something. It might not be that much. I might be exaggerating, but
no, but I know that their attendance shot up. I mean, that was incredible what Dion was
oh
able to
yeah,
do in that
and they're still gonna
Colorado.
be insane this year. Even
Yeah,
though I think we both got some pretty interesting takes on Colorado this year.
I can say I accurately predicted what Colorado was going to do last year. I just don't think you're able to. I mean, no matter how much you bring in with the new transfer portal stuff, whether or not you're going to be able to successfully completely turn around a college program and take it from a 1-win team or a 3-win team and take it all the way to like a Pac-12 championship. I just didn't think that was a realistic expectation, but a tremendous progress in the first year of the Sanders area in Colorado.
I don't want to get into this because I can spend at least an hour talking about Colorado. Yeah, can't do it because otherwise I'll spend an hour talking about this because all this, all this, everyone is Shedeur and Shedeur, Shiloh's not as bad, but Dion all talk about how they would be the best team in the Pac-12, best team in the country, best team in the Big 12, and didn't do anything last year. Couldn't beat a good team. You started off 3-0. You won what 1-8? Your last 9. Like, I'm sorry, TCU wasn't good last year. Nebraska was trash. I mean, good luck with them at home this year. Anyways, let me not. let me not. We're supposed to be introducing ourselves, not trashing teams yet. Let me
We'll save that for episode 1.
let me wait until we cover Big 12 overs and unders.
So, I think you've looked at like I would say that Prime, like Jake Paul and KSI energy drink thing, I'd say that's had a pretty meteoric rise. And I think part of that has been due to their successful marketing of themselves. Like they were pretty big brand like names before, and when they came out with that drink, they were able to use their names to market the drink without having to spend a lot of money. Now you're seeing them go and be like a UFC sponsor with their bottles all over the floor, or I guess the mats. But what are your thoughts on players, especially with like BioSteel being like the official energy drink or sports drink of the NHL? What are your thoughts on like a player like Austin Matthews kind of going rogue and going with Prime and kind of doing a deal with them?
I mean, they can do what they want. Austin Matthews got so much money, even though, actually, never mind. Like, Austin Matthews has so much money that, like, who cares? He can do whatever he wants. Like, and I think he's like buddies with all of them. Like, he's buddies with Justin Bieber and all that. So, I mean, Austin Matthews can do what he wants. I mean, because, like, I think each of the teams have their own specific car companies. Like, I think NHL is like Honda, or it was. And then, like, the Sharks could have a different car company or, like, whatever. So, I don't really care. I mean, and specifically on the Paul brothers, love them or hate them, I'd love to see Jake Paul just get knocked out in a boxing ring. But what they've done to going from just straight YouTube to being where they are now, one's in WWE, and I think he's a champion in WWE. And Jake Paul's like doing well in boxing, even though you can have your opinions about how he hasn't fought any like real boxers, like anyone that's actively boxing or is legit in it. But I mean, you can have your opinions, but like what these dudes have done to market themselves and to put themselves out there in combat sports and just make their brand so big, and then starting an energy drink with KSI, like such a huge brand. And I had to give them all the credit in the world because what they've done with themselves is tremendous, and not many people have the work ethic or the talent to do that. But I don't know. What they've done is really impressive. So I'll give them all the credit in the world for that.
So, you talked about Jake Paul not fighting anyone. I watched I got the pay-per-view for the Jake Paul Tommy Fury fight, and that was probably one of the most entertained I had been in a while when it came to a Jake Paul boxing match. But I want him to kind of push himself a little bit more and go after someone who's a little bit more notorious in the boxing scene if he really wants to cement himself as a professional. But we'll see about that.
Look, if he fights someone like legit, like someone that's actively boxing, that's not like 50 years old, like God, what's his name? Nate Diaz. Like a lot of the guys he's fighting are like Nate Diaz, where they're old UFC fighters, like Ben Askren, or like when he first started KSI, like.
The Tyron Woodley fight, I'm pretty sure. I think most of the guys he's
Woodley's
fought have
old,
gone
though.
from. I thought he was younger, but I think most of the guys he's fought are like older UFC, like former UFC that have like switched to boxing, or kind of like mixed. I'm not 100% sure on that one. That I think that's just from what I remember watching some of his fights in previous years.
He should just fight Tommy Fury.
He already did. He fought
He
Tommy
did?
Fury in
Or not Tommy
Saudi
Fury.
Arabia.
God, what's his name? The older white dude. He's like huge. He fought Mayweather, I think.
McGregor?
No.
I would honestly, I'd love to see
The
a
older
Conor
white
McGregor
dude. He's
fight.
bald. I think he's British. God, I can't remember his name.
Oh, the older Fury.
Yeah, the older Fury. Okay, I thought his name was Fury. Yeah, the older
For some
Fury.
reason, I can't remember what his first name is. Um,
Oh,
Tyson Fury, maybe.
yes, yes.
I don't know how that would work because Tyson's a heavyweight, and I don't know
I don't
what
care.
weight
I don't
class Paul
care. I
fights
want to
in.
see
But then,
them two box. Look, if Jake Paul fights a real boxer and just knocks him out, I'll give him all the credit. Because at least Logan Paul, the outcomes of him are predetermined.
mhm.
Like,
So
I have, but and Logan's like an athlete, but yeah, I don't know. Let me not go down this. Yeah, but Tyson Fury, get him in a ring with Jake Paul. See what happens. Just see him go at it, because you know it's gonna be scripted anyway.
I don't know about that one. I don't know if it'll be scripted. I think the outcome could be pretty easily predicted. I think the money line on that would be pretty heavily in Tyson Fury's favor. But I
And I'm
think that in
still going to put the rent on it. No, I'll put the rent on Jake Paul because it's gonna be scripted every time. Every, I'm, no doubt about it.
just to put this in there, we do not condone putting your rent on sports betting or gambling.
Yes,
Not
we
a good
do.
idea.
Yes, we do.
Get help, Joey, don't encourage it.
Put
Not a good
the
look.
put the rent on whoever Ohio State's playing this weekend. We're gonna lose
And that is in
in
college
men's basketball. Put the rent on Ohio
Um,
State women's because we're number 2, better than South Carolina. But
so
just wait till turning time. We'll see you
probably
champs.
probably one of the harder things that we are going to talk about today is rank your 5 best sports movies because there's a lot of controversy out there and which one's better and how hard it actually is to rank a top 5 when there are so many good ones you can kind of squeeze in and kind of I guess make a tiered list out of, but kind of give me your top 5 and give me a little bit of reasoning why.
I want you to go first.
Okay, I will go first. I think you know which one's going to be number 1.
Yeah, you've only talked about it 12 times today.
Yes, I've got Miracle number 1. I don't think you can beat the emotions that are in that movie just from start to finish. Overall, fantastic movie, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend for anyone who hasn't seen it.
I think it's
Yeah,
on Disney Plus.
it is on Disney Plus. It's been on Disney Plus for a while. I don't think they plan on taking it down anytime soon. So if you've got a Disney Plus membership and you haven't seen Miracle on Ice, go watch it. Great hockey movie. Second on my list, Happy Gilmore. I put a lot of thought into it. Happy Gilmore is one of my favorite movies, especially because it combines 2 of my favorite sports, being golf and hockey. But I think if you look at Happy Gilmore, it kind of, I mean, it's still around today. People will go out to a golf course and do a Happy Gilmore. Given I don't think I ever see it at a country club or anything, but I've seen my brother. I'm gonna rat him out here. I've seen my brother do it during golf practices. I've seen him do it during matches. Um, the kid will do it anywhere. Surprisingly, he is very impressive at it. Doesn't nearly hit it as far, but is one of the better people I've seen do it when it comes to it. Of course, you've got some other people out there who are insanely good at hitting uh, drives while not only like moving, but kind of coming up with their own variations, hitting it off the deck, one armed. So yeah. Okay. Number 3, I got it as a whole series because I didn't want to just put one in there and leave the other ones out. The Rocky series. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but fantastic series, start to finish. Great kind of plot. Although I will say they basically all 4 of them follow the same plot line, but I don't think you ever get tired of it. Um,
You don't ever get tired of Sylvester Stallone.
no, I mean I don't think they could have cast that role any better, and I don't think they could have. I think they did a very good job casting that whole movie, with Apollo Creed, with Drago, um, and just that whole crew that was behind Rocky. I don't think there was a better cast they could have put together to create a more iconic series that, yet again, I still enjoy watching to this day. Number 4, Remember the Titans.
All right. I'm
It's
surprised you
been a
got that low, but
I mean, again, there's a lot of controversy in when you can or where you can put certain movies on this list. And I mean, again, I had a tough time
the
putting this one
outrage
together. I
is
got
gonna
a
be what you don't have.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's plenty of good movies, and I mean, we could sit here and talk for hours about just different sports media movies. I mean, what's his name? Crap, how did I forget it? Adam Sandler. I don't know how I forgot Adam Sandler's name, but he's got a bunch of good sports movies out there. But remember the Titans, one of my favorites. Just kind of like the going back to what we talked about earlier, having that identity to fall back on, and how that team, when they went through what they went through over the course of that movie, and having to deal with all like the segregation and stuff like that, um, they had that identity to fall back on when times got hard, and then that allowed them to be able to bond and move forward and be productive. And then in my five slot, I've got a three-way tie.
Yeah, see,
I don't
that's
even,
cheating.
I don't know if this is allowed, but I've
This
got
is cheating. You
this
said top five. I've only wrote
top
down
five.
five. I have an honorable mention, but I only wrote down five. And you over here putting in 9 movies, like,
I've got a three-way
and an
tie for
entire
fifth,
series.
and I've got like three honorable mentions.
So you
I
just
couldn't.
included every good sports movie. This isn't controversial. Like,
Okay,
you
okay,
didn't choose. The other
okay,
2 5 spots could be your honorable mentions, but
okay.
just every good sports movie that exists. Like,
So I'm gonna put Waterboy at five. Then, if I can't have the three-way tie, I'm gonna put Waterboy at five. And
all
then
right.
the other two movies I had tied in that five slot, Sandlot and Tin Cup. They were
Oh,
both kind of iconic movies from when I was younger. Especially Sandlot. I watched that thing a million times.
all right. Yeah, I think I watched that a million times while when I was younger, but it's also probably I also probably haven't watched it since I was like 10.
But then like I got like honorable mentions being like Moneyball, the Karate Kid series. Yet again, another series.
Dude just put in like 30 movies and acted like we wouldn't notice. Like,
Hey,
all right,
that's how
is it my
that's
turn?
how they get spending bills done in Congress.
Are we Congress? No.
No.
No. I wish I made as much money as them.
Oh, that'd be the dream. We wouldn't have to do this. We'd be able to buy all the Taco Bell,
I
or
wouldn't have
I'd be
to
able to buy
weld.
all the
I
Taco
could do
Bell.
this. I'd rather do this than go to work. Like, anyways, is it my turn? Are
Yes,
you
it is
done?
your turn. Let me
On for
hear
your
your top
35 movies?
top
You still
35
snuck
sports
in your other
movies.
35 movies at the end. Anyways, all right. Got as my honorable mention, Coach Carter. One, Samuel Jackson in this movie. Some, some different, bro. Like the bald mustache Samuel Jackson, like just and like way he took this group of kids that weren't necessarily the best kids and made them into young men. Like that's just something like a lot of people can't do. And a lot of people don't have that type of influence in their life. A lot of kids don't have that influence in their life, and they do need that. Anyways, I haven't watched that movie in a long time, but I remember it being good. So let me go back. Waterboy. Waterboy's number 5. It's one of the funniest movies, sports movies that there is. I think it's the only funny, yeah, it's the only funny sports movie I have on this list. Um, it's just funny. Like it was, and you want to know something crazy? I didn't watch that movie until I was 16.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I
My
never
dad
watched
putting
that
that on
movie
when I was
until I was
younger.
16. I watched it for like 2 weeks straight. Like, Waterboy, great movie. Medulla oblongata, however you pronounce that word.
Colonel
Still,
Sanders.
yeah. Maybe we needed that when we played. Just like the image of the coach making us mad and just seeing that every time we stepped on ice. Maybe that's what would have gotten us. Anyway, 4, a lot of people haven't watched this movie or heard of it. Facing the Giants. And it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's my cup of tea because it did bring me to faith. It's about a coach, how he's struggling to get a winning season. And it's at a Christian academy. And struggles to get a winning season. And it just keeps getting worse. And all these giants of fear and failure just surround him. And he gives his life to God. He gives that team to God. It says that playing football, like, if we're just here to win football games, it's like, I don't want to win games. Like, we're here to serve a bigger purpose. And so, takes the team, quick summary, takes the team, they start out 0-3, they go to a 7-3 record, get eliminated in the first round, find out that the other team cheated and used 19-year-olds, and then that train is loud.
Yeah. It's the thing about Columbia, South Carolina. We got trains everywhere. There's tracks right next to my apartment right there. So we apologize
I was trying to keep
noise.
I was trying to keep it on the low, but I couldn't stand it anymore. But find out they cheated and end up going all the way and win state championships who had won the states. I think it was 2 or 3 years previous, and a team that outnumbers them 85 to like 32, and kick a game-winning field goal, 51-yarder off a 135-pound backup kicker, and win the game. And so that was a bad summary. It was a short summary, but if you haven't watched that movie, go watch it. Especially if you are a Christian, you do want to go into faith. I would watch it. It's free on if you have Amazon Prime or Prime Video. So I would recommend go watching that. Anyways, number 3, Miracle. Tailing off what Briggs said, emotion on the ice, like the emotion of like the time, the war, all that type of stuff, like all that. I think that's what makes it a great movie. Ain't much I can really say that Briggs didn't say. 2, I got Rocky. I only got Rocky 1 because the first one was better. Just because like the second, the rest of them kind of tailed off that idea. And but great movie. Couldn't cast that role any better. Any of them. I also don't think the Creed series was bad. Because how many Creed movies were there? Like 3, 4?
I think there's been 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there was 3. It was only 3.
I think the third one just came out tail end of the.
I think it was 21. I think it was 2021. I didn't think it came out that recently.
No, the most recent Creed movie came out last spring, I believe.
Of 23?
23. It was spring, late winter, early spring time frame.
I don't know. I think I only watched the first 2. But anyways, Rocky, kind of tailing off what Briggs said. And then Remember the Titans. And you want to know why this is number 1?
Why?
Denzel Washington, bro. And Ryan Gosling
that's a good reason.
being that absolute liability at corner. Before Ryan Gosling was Ken, he was a liability at corner. Or outside linebacker. Whatever. No, but great movie. What they had to endure in between like the start of training camp and like everything they experienced going into the school afterwards. I mean, I can't remember Coach Boone having. Was that Denzel Washington's name in the movie? It was Boone, right?
I believe so. It's been a minute since I've seen it.
And Denzel Washington had the brick thrown through his window, like just like the intimidation of like dealing with all that. They never backed down. They still stood together. They still stood together even when Gary got in the car accident. All that type of stuff. All the support, the way he built a team, built a culture there. Really impressive, especially to institute to high school kids who are going through all this. And they were divided at first. And they ended up coming together and being brothers, even when the world was telling them, you can't, you look different. So, that's why I like that movie. And it was good in the football sense. But that's what I got. I didn't put 19 movies in my list that was supposed to be 5.
But I was about to say it was a solid top 5. I'm surprised you had Miracle at 3. I would have thought that you would have had Miracle at least 1 or 2 there.
Honestly, I saw Rocky and I remember how good of a movie that was. And I remember seeing the Rocky statue back in I think it was beginning of 2023. Yeah, I was up in Philly in 2023. So I don't know, it was kind of that nostalgia for me. But I also haven't seen a lot of these movies.
Yeah, I mean, we're young. We've got a lot more time to watch the other hundreds of fantastic sports movies that are out there. I'm sure there will be hundreds of more over our lifetime that are added. I'm sure there's got to be one about the Brady, Belichick dynasty.
But I feel like that's going to be a documentary. Like, I don't count that.
I mean, it's.
I mean, you remember they came out with the Kelsey documentary about the Kelsey brothers last year.
I know they've got their own the New Heights podcast, which is insane in its own right. I'll just leave it at that. But I'm like The Last Dance. I remember watching that a couple years ago over COVID. Great docuseries. I think I'd rather watch a movie about the Brady Belichick dynasty and kind of end it on the 28-3 comeback that will forever haunt Atlanta Falcons fans.
It'll forever haunt Kyle Shanahan, apparently, because he can't win a Super Bowl. But
he doesn't know how to maintain the lead.
He doesn't know how to run the ball in the second half. Like, I was literally screaming at my TV because I do not like the Chiefs.
I'm right there with you.
The Chiefs.
I was
literally screaming at my TV, and I had the Chiefs plus like 3.5. So like I was rooting for that bet. I had Travis Kelce like over 70.5 yards. And you know what he had at halftime? 1. So I was rooting for the Chiefs low key. But Kyle Shanahan, you get the. Let me not. Actually, I want to go ahead. You have Patrick Mahomes score on the last drive of the first half. They get the ball to start the second half. And you go, pick the ball off, and then what do you do on your next 2 drives? You don't hand the ball off to your best player. Why? Why in your right mind would you do that? You hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey, you win that game. Jake Moody hits that extra point, you are Super Bowl champions. Either that or you lost in regulation. Instead, your players didn't even know the rules for overtime, which is also the fault of the coach and the players. But
I don't know how much I'm going to buy into that because that's. Like,
I think that was lame. I honestly think that was a lame excuse that they gave for their sorry performance on defense.
I think if you look at more like the Dan Campbell mindset,
and even then,
like, go for
even
it.
If you didn't know the rules, either way. You kicking a field goal at the beginning of overtime wouldn't have won you the game.
You had to assume the Chiefs were going to score a touchdown regardless.
I'm going for it on 4th down. I'm going for it on that 4th down because you know the Chiefs are going to go down and score. Your defense is toast. And go figure, they were a corn dog on the final play of the game. Like, come on. Andy Reid, like, you already know what this man's going to do. No, you don't. That's the problem. But, like, you know Andy Reid's going to pull out some play like that. And he used it against the Eagles last year in the Super Bowl to win that one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
History does repeat itself. Well.
Yeah, and you know what the Chiefs are going to do? they're going to win the Super Bowl again next year. You might
I
as well,
hope not.
and we
I
do
hope
condone
not.
putting the rent on that. We do condone putting the rent on bets. Go ahead and put the rent on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, because it's going to happen again this year. The power of Taylor Swift's going to bring them to the Super Bowl again. This time, it's going to be the Lions, though. Just to break everyone's heart, because everyone's going to be rooting for the Lions. No one cared about San Fran.
I don't know how much I agree with that statement, but that is that.
No, everyone wanted both those teams to lose.
Yes, there's some trajectory.
I wanted Brock Purdy to win, but I don't care about San Francisco, the franchise.
We're gonna end on that note. We'll save that for another time. If you've made it this far to hear Joey's rant about this Super Bowl 54, 55, I don't know. I can't remember which one
I think it was like 58, bro.
58. Clearly, I'm not caught up.
Yeah,
thank you so much for staying this long.
College kid.
Yeah. Well, but thank you so much for staying. You probably lost a couple brain cells listening to me trying to count to 5 and Joey talking about corn dogs and Super Bowl. So thank you. There will be an episode dropping Wednesday. We'll be covering topics discussing the NCAA, especially this big ruling coming out with NIL and the lawsuit that was settled with Virginia and Tennessee. So,
it wasn't even settled. It was, let me not get into it, but it was just granted an injunction. And we'll get into the nitty gritty of it on when we drop it on Wednesday.
So stay tuned for that. Go make sure to follow and subscribe. We'll have the website description down below. Any athletes who'd like to come on, shoot us a DM, shoot us an email, and we'll see you guys Wednesday. Thank you.
Appreciate it.